All right, UFC fans. So obviously we had a great main card leading up to the Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal fight. It was a great card. I'll talk about those other three fights later on tonight. But Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. Listen, I'm just gonna say this right off the gate. This was a boring fight. This was a snooze fest. Now I'm not gonna blame Kamaru Usman, even though he won this fight. I'm not gonna blame him at all because at the end of the day, you got to win the fight. Your job is not to put up a show for the fan. Your job is not to just be to put up these exciting fights and just to have these stand up engagements all the time. You're supposed to win. That's the whole goal of the fighting is you're supposed to win. And Kamaru put up a technical fight. He got Jorge for the majority of the fight against the cage, against the clinch. Was able to use body strikes, shoulder strikes. Was able to stomp on the toes a little bit. And even though Jorge, for the most part, did a really good job of stuffing the takedowns, even when Jorge was on the ground, Jorge did a great job of defending a little bit, right? Kamaru, like I said, guys, compared to Kamaru's past opponents, Jorge actually did a pretty good job defending. And even, again, when he was on the ground, he did a good job trying to get back up to the cage for the most part. Again, Jorge took this fight on 6 days' notice, right? He took this fight on 6 days' notice. He looked tired and going into the third round. Jorge did a good job not giving up, continuing to fight. Even when, during the last 20 seconds of the fight, Jorge he gave it everything he had. At the end of the day, guys, even if I think Jorge had a full camp, Kamaru was just the better fighter. There's a reason why, and I'm glad I went with Kamaru because I actually won some money. But I'm glad that Kamaru actually won this fight, right? It's just Kamaru is just the better fighter. This is a guy that's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, welterweight in the division. This is a guy that is probably the best wrestler in the division. Again, you got it's between him and Burns, and obviously there's Woodley and Colby Covington, and there's others. But arguably, Kamaru is the best wrestler in the division. Why would you not utilize that in this fight against Jorge Masvidal? You just can't just be standing up and have another Colby Kamaru type of fight with Jorge, especially because Jorge, I think, is a better striker than Kamaru and Colby. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the first round, it was quite evident that Jorge was the better striker. He was the better stand-up fighter compared to Kamaru Usman. So, but what did Kamaru Usman do? He didn't let Jorge be comfortable. He made Jorge uncomfortable. He got him against the cage again. Body shots. He just kept putting on that pace, kept pushing the pace. And again, Jorge, for the most part, did a good job defending. But at the end of the day, Kamaru had 2 significant takedowns in this fight, and never let Jorge. He never let Jorge get comfortable. So again, I'm not going to blame Kamaru Usman for fighting the way he did. Is it boring? Yes. Was it a snooze fest? Absolutely. Was it definitely disappointing because of we had the fight with Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas, how we had a phenomenal fight for that. For that time, we had Jose Aldo versus Peter I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but Jan. We had Aldo versus Jan. That was a great fight, and then we had Holloway and Volkanovski. I'm just gonna call him Alex. I'm gonna butcher that last name. But yeah, that you had 3 really good fights back to back to back, and then you go to the main event, and then it was a snooze fest. So yes, I understand it was disappointing, but I'm not gonna blame Kamaru for fighting the way he did. He fought a technical, smart fight. You can tell that the coaches definitely gave Kamaru the game plan they planned for him, even though that it was a short week notice. But they thought that Jorge was going to get tired. They felt like if they got him against the cage, exert that energy out of him, that eventually Jorge was gonna let up. So yeah, at the end of the day, these fighters have to go with the game plan. Every fighter comes with a game plan entering a fight. The coaches game plan for it, you got to execute, and Kamaru executed damn near with perfection. So I'm not gonna blame him at all for putting up a technical, smart fight, because at the end of the day, it won him the championship, right? It won him the UFC championship. It was a dominant performance. I know it sucks. It's a snooze fest, People are going to be saying, probably in the comment section or everywhere on Twitter and social media, that yes, this was boring, this was a waste of money. And you know what? If anyone says that this was a waste of money, is an idiot. I'm sorry. We had a phenomenal card, even with the prelims going up to the early moments of the main card. We had a phenomenal UFC event. Again, the only problem really was the fight was the main event fight. That was it. But you're talking about the best wrestler going against potentially the best striker. What do you think? Let's be honest. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think Kamaru was going to do? You think Kamaru was just going to stand up like he did with Colby Covington the entire fight? No. And Kamaru had a broken hand going into that fight. He hurt his hand. So he couldn't really utilize his wrestling against Colby in that fight. I mean, come on, people. So yes, boring fight. But Kamaru Usman won it at the end of the day. It was a dominant performance. And like I said, hopefully these two can run it back, because I would like to see these two run it back on, if Jorge has a full camp. And let's just see what happens when it comes to there. Anyway, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you thought it was a boring fight, let me know below the comment section below. If you guys like it, you guys can definitely comment below. And yes, hopefully you guys stay safe. Understand this was a long night, but at the end of the day, we had a great card, and I will definitely talk about the other UFC fights in a moment. So anyway, Gen 716, stay safe. I'm out. Peace.